Wax's podcast, talking mad shit about uninteresting facts. Wax's podcast, listen to it every Wednesday.
What up, y'all? This is Wax coming to you live. Not really live like I always say, but live with episode 5. Y'all didn't think I was going to get to episode 2, much less episode 5, but here I am. This is actually Wednesday morning that I'm recording this. Sorry if I sound a little scratchy. I'm fucking getting sick, which sucks. Because I'm actually I feel like I might be getting real sick. Like, you know how sometimes you're like, oh, I got a little cold or something. I think this time I might have some kind of fucking, I don't know, like viral infection. Like sometimes strep throat or something like that. Hopefully it's not fucking AIDS or cancer or something, but I don't know. I woke up a couple days ago, and the first symptom I had was like the dry boogers. You know, like the inside of your nose is just dry and like, and you know that kind of thing. Not like a runny nose, like a dry, arid desert nose. And then over the last few days, I've just been getting like a general sense of fatigue and kind of fucking up my voice and my throat and shit. Usually this only happens right before I have to play some big show. But now it's, you know, I can't say it's nothing going on. I'm actually about to take a trip. Tomorrow I'm leaving to go to Maryland for a couple of days, my home state of Maryland. Go Terps. But fucking, I say go Terps, but I can't remember the last time I watched any kind of college sporting event at all. So I'm kind of a poser in that regard. But I am looking forward to going back there because I'm going to get to see my family. I'm going back there for my nephew Chris's birthday. Chris, if you're listening to this, happy birthday. My sister, who is Chris's dad, if he's listening to this, bad parenting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back there, man. Gonna eat some blue crabs. To anybody from that DMV area, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you grow up kind of eating them shits, you miss them when you get away from them. So I know my mom listens to this, but I think I'm actually looking forward to eating crabs and drinking beer more than I'm looking forward to seeing my family. I'm just kidding. So yeah, this has been a pretty uneventful week. Thank you everybody for sending me so many emails to the beatsforwax@gmail.com email address where you can send me beats and questions for this podcast, because week has been pretty uneventful, so I'm probably going to spend a lot of the time reading those questions. Basically, I've been here at the crib. I've been working on finishing my album. It's interesting. I should close the window. Hold up. I don't even know if that made a difference. When that window's closed, it does. It's like fucking 1 gazillimeter thin. But yeah, so I didn't get. Not too much happened this week. Just working on the album here at the house. Just walking around fucking talking to myself like a maniac and just trying to think of ideas and shit like that. I did have a meeting last night. I had a meeting last night with all my people that Intense Imagination, me and my video crew, Casey and AK and such, and Jay. Gonna shoot a new video when I get back from Maryland. I'm kind of excited about it. We're gonna shoot this video for the song called Toothbrush. It's an unreleased song, and we're gonna bring back Melissa. Melissa played Rosanna in the Rosanna video, so she's gonna come down and be the star of that video too. Hopefully, I don't know. Who knows if it'll be successful or not. But I just want to make sure the shit's good, and I think it will be if we pull it off. It's a lot of shit we got to do for this one. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but you know, it is what it is. Oh man. So yeah, I've just been sitting here all week. You know, I think I stress myself out a little bit about making music. You know, I'm not really a fast worker, and I tend to stress myself out because I don't get as much done as I hope to. And I think I think part of that is because it's just my brain. I think what's happened is like you know when your hard drive on your computer gets full and you can't put any more information on it unless you delete something. I think that's the point where my brain is, and I'm not saying that I'm smart. I'm saying that I have a lot of useless information in my brain. And it's just so fucking full that it needs to be like defragmented or something like that. Maybe I need to start meditating or some shit like that. But it's so fucking full of useless information that it needs to delete shit off of it. Because I think the brain kind of works like a computer hard drive. And I think actually, like, if you've seen any of this stuff about the singularity theory, soon we're going to actually model hard drives to work like the brain, which is a scary thought because then the computers are going to be smarter than us, and then they're going to develop, their brains are going to develop at like an infinitely exponential rate, and then they're going to ultimately be what takes over, and we're going to be no longer. I don't know if that's true, but if you really think about it and watch some of those videos and check out the theories, it's totally possible. I mean, I was thinking actually, you know how like back in the day you go to a restaurant with your friends or your girl or your parents or whatever, and what happens during the meal is that you talk to each other. You talk to each other and have conversations. But now if you look around a restaurant, even if there's a table of 4, most likely at least 3 out of the 4 of them are on their fucking iPhone. So it's almost like we walk around looking at these little screens, and then our social interaction is more and more becoming just based on us looking at this little screen. So I don't know about computers taking over and all that shit, but I don't see why it'd be impossible that eventually those phones just kind of not merge with us like on some evolution shit, like we do it on purpose, like we put something in ourselves, either in our brain or on our hand or what. I think in our brain that just makes us kind of live in that world, like you won't have to see anybody to communicate with them and shit like that. You're just kind of in this social media world, like in your brain, like you're on the internet literally. I don't see why that's an impossible thing, because we're already like fucking becoming one with these little things. I don't know, maybe that's stupid, but maybe you're fucking stupid. God damn, being sick sucks. God, and you fucking get those horrible coughs. Like, same kind of coughs that like the homeless dudes in Venice that dig through the dumpsters get, like that cough that just sounds like you're fucking one cough away from just like the cough makes your fucking spleen and liver come out of your mouth and nose. Your fucking lungs are just like, I mean, I'm not saying my lungs look great, but those dudes have coughs that are just fucking, I mean, they probably have several, like they just got fucking herpes, tuberculosis, AIDS, like all of it in one cough. And I'm not dissing them. I actually just this morning I got coffee. I went to I'm like 50-50. I always drink coffee in the morning, but sometimes I make it here, and then sometimes I'll just like go to a place and get it. Not even usually because I want to get their coffee. I just want to leave the fucking house for a minute. So this time I went down by the water to this place called the Cow's End, and I'm I'm the kind of dude that usually doesn't give money to homeless people, and there's a reason why. There's a specific story that pissed me off, but now I'm kind of different. Now I kind of base it on the homeless person's demeanor. And I was actually having a conversation with this dude. He was a dude in a wheelchair, and he's a real nice guy. And he's about the age of a veteran, and a lot of those dudes are veterans. And I gave him $1 at the end of the conversation. So that was, I don't even know why I brought that up. He didn't seem like a homeless dude. It was interesting, but the reason I don't usually give homeless people money is because this one time I was going to 7-Eleven, and there was a homeless dude. He had one fucking leg, and he was standing up in front of 7-Eleven, and he was opening the door for people to get in. And if you think about it, like, stand on one leg right now if you can, and then think about opening the 7-Eleven door. Like, the one leg thing makes it a lot fucking hard. It makes it a lot harder. It might not seem like it. You're like, oh, well, you just use your arms and shit, but like, trust me, it looked like a difficult task. So I was like, dude, I'm gonna give this dude my change when I get out of here. So I remember I had 55 cents left over from whatever I got in there. And when I got outside, I gave it to him. He was like, motherfucker, is that all you got? And I was just like, damn. So like, I mean, what the fuck? That I don't know why that story matters, but that kind of made me say, like, you know what? I'm not gonna. I didn't want to start. I don't like to base homeless people, on the way they look and say, like, I don't want to make a decision. It should just either be yes or no. Like, I give something to everybody, or give nothing to nobody, or it's nothing to everybody. So that's how I was then, but I think I'm starting to change. I think I'm just like, it just depends on the fucking moment. I don't even know why I'm talking about that, but I got into it because I was talking about coughs. Talking about coughs. God, I feel like shit today. I'm already sweating. Like you know those like that's not a feverish sweat. Well, I think it is a feverish sweat. I think I am having cold sweats right now. So I'm sorry about the rambling. I mean, if this is already this podcast is already based on rambling, and in this particular case, I had an uneventful week, so I'm even less prepared than usual, and my brain is kind of cloudy. But I did want to talk about this one thing. I did want to talk about this. Hold on one second. Yes. My friend Adam. Adam is a guitar player, and Adam has played with me on stage many times, including the last Viper Room show I did. He played with me at the Troubadour. He's a real cool dude. He's originally from Chicago, and kind of a punk rock dude. Like, he was in a punk rock band for a long time. He toured all over the world, toured through Europe in this punk band and shit. But real good guy, real good guitar player, real funny guy. But I doubt he listens to this. But it doesn't matter anyway. I'm not dissing him, but it's just funny. He's the one who told me this story. You know, when he moved out to L.A., he met some people in the porn industry, and he started working in the porn industry. Not as a porno, you know, not on screen. He was like a driver, or he would do like I think he might do some kind of office tasks and stuff like that. But his main shit was a driver. Like, he'd drive the girls from one set to another, and then maybe drive them home. He did some other shit too, but anyway, he started dating this chick that was like a pretty well-known, actually, porn star. And I just want to talk about some of the stuff that he was saying about, like, how weird it is to date a porn star. And I mean, to me, I couldn't do it right off the bat, because I mean, it's a no-brainer to me that it's weird. But he was talking about how sometimes she'd come home, you know, and this isn't really funny because it's so obvious, but if you just picture it, like they're like in love. They're like a lovey-dovey couple. So she comes home and she's fucking walking funny, and he's just like, "Oh, baby, what's the matter?" And she's like, you know, looking for sympathy, and she's like, "Oh, I had to do a double penetration scene today, and the dudes had really big dicks. They had really big dicks. Hold me, baby, please." And he has to be like, you know, I mean, either you got to deal with it. If you're accepting that, you got to be like, "Oh, okay, baby, I'm gonna make you some dinner. Rough day at work." And I just think that's fucking weird. We started talking about it a lot more, and this is the part where I just thought it was crazy, because I was like, I jokingly said, like, you know, yeah, you come home one day and her fucking, you know, her hair's got some stuff in it, you know, and he says, "You know what though? That happened." His girl comes home from fucking work as a porn person, and like, she clearly has cum in her hair. Like, other people's cum in her hair. And I don't know, man. I was like, dude, if that's not the fucking green light to your brain to, like, go get the fuck out of there, I don't know what is. I mean, what if what if you're kissing on her neck and that she got it on there too? I'm not going to go any further with that, because you know what I'm saying. I could never date a chick that does porn. I mean, it'd be hard enough for me to date a chick that strips. But doing porn, I mean, I don't see how people do that. And I know a lot, I don't know. A lot of them have boyfriends and husbands, and maybe they're just into that shit. All those people are kind of, you know, swingers and crazy anyway, but not me, man. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do the whole date a porn chick. All right, I think that might be, I don't have too much else. I'll tell a quick, let's do the segment Wax's True Hollywood Stories here. What did I tell you before? The Chris Brown story and the fucking Dave Chappelle story. All right, this one may not be as funny straight up, but this one I just thought was interesting, because you got to just picture it in your head. So, like 2 years ago, it was Grammy weekend, and as many of you know, in Los Angeles, when something like the Grammys or the Oscars or the MTV Awards or whatever happens in Los Angeles, there's always like mad parties and shit. And I've been to some of these parties, and like I said, I think last week, I never go to these things because I'm me. It's never like, oh, Wax is on the list. You know what I'm saying? I go because I know somebody else. In this particular case, one of my homies here is the actor Ryan Phillippe, and he was invited to this party. So me and my manager Brian and him went to this party, and the party was in Beverly Hills. It was at Jimmy Iovine's house. If you don't know who Jimmy Iovine is like the founder of Interscope Records. You know, a fucking huge record company. They fucking do Lady Gaga, Eminem, Dr. Dre, LMFAO. You know, No Doubt. They do Gwen Stefani, fucking everybody. So just a huge major record label, and he's the head of it. I think he's been on American Idol a couple times. He fucking co-founded the Beats with Dre headphones with Dre. Interestingly enough, an interesting story about Interscope Records is they're this huge mogul entity or whatever you want to call them now, but they started with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Good Vibrations. That and Rico Suave. Ah, Rico. If you remember that song. Suave. I don't know when that song came out. I don't know if that was... I don't know. A lot of you might not remember that song because that's a fucking old-ass song, but they started with Rico Suave and Good Vibrations by Mark Wahlberg and the Funky Bunch, Marky Mark rather, and now they are who they are. So anyway, you never know what's going to happen. You may start small, but if you think big, you may end up big. You may even not have to think big. Maybe it just fucking becomes big. I don't know. But, so the party was at his fucking house. And my manager actually knows him. My manager used to work at Interscope for a while, and he knows him. So even still, that's not why we got in the party. We got in the party because we know Ryan. But we walk up to the fucking... We drive up there, get out the car, we walk up to the door. And there's a couple people there standing there waiting to get in. And, you know, it's not that many people. It's kind of a smaller event. And we get to the door, and there's a dude there at the door that shakes everybody's hand and basically is like the greeter. Like, you know, like the fucking old lady when you walk into Walmart that's like, welcome to Walmart. It's like the fucking Hollywood version of that, except they actually touch you. They actually shake your hand. But the person who was fucking doing that was fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I thought that was fucking crazy. I walk in the door not expecting anything. I'm just like, you know, cool, let's see what's going on here. And the first thing I fucking see, hey, nice to meet you. And he fucking shakes my hand. I look up, it's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was just the governor of California, fucking the Terminator, all that shit. I mean, and it's like, it was so unexpected to see him. But, I don't know, that was just a crazy party, man. Like that was probably the party I've been to that had the most celebrities. But I'm not trying to like name drop or whatever. I'm just saying that shit was crazy. Fucking, there was a million famous people there, but the highlights of it for me was I remember I had a long conversation with Sacha Baron Cohen there. We were both kind of fucked up. I think he was wearing like a derby hat and a bow tie suit. But I talked to him for a while. And then the other highlight of the night was at the end of the party when we were leaving, when we were outside front about to get in the car. We saw J. Cole there, and my manager was like, yo, let's go introduce you. So I met J. Cole, and J. Cole, before even saying anything, looked at me like, oh shit, Wax from YouTube. Like he started singing the new Crack melody. I thought that was pretty cool. J. Cole knew Wax from YouTube. That's pretty cool. But there was a lot of other shit at that party. I fucking talked to like Paris Hilton and Nikki Hilton. I fucking talked to Mary J. Blige. It was fucking crazy. None of them remember who I am, I'm sure, but I will never forget meeting them. It was fucking nuts. But that was actually a couple Hollywood stories, but it wasn't really a funny Hollywood story, but just letting you know, we're trying to keep the segment going. Speaking of segments, here's the call. Let's do the call someone and fuck with them segment. I actually tried to do this podcast. I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to do this podcast last night, and I was just so fucking tired and out of it that I was just like, I listened to kind of like where I was going with it, and it fucking sucked. Not saying that this one is awesome, but I was late, and I was just tired, and I'm fucking sick. And I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to scratch this one and do it today. But I did call my friend Casey last night. Casey Chan, the director of a lot of my videos, and I talked to him. So I think the audio might be shitty, but let me stop this and listen to it and see if I can just edit it into here and see if it even works. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like it'll work. So here it is, the thing I did last night calling Casey. Hopefully it's not boring. Let's see, Casey Chan. Probably wasting my time because, you know, I like when I do these things, I don't tell people. Like, I have no idea if they're going to answer or not. I really don't. Fuck, what did I say?
Yo, what up, dude?
Yo, what up, dude? Hey, I was just thinking about the video we were talking about today, the toothbrush video.
Yeah.
I think we should go a different direction with it, man. Like, I think some of the stuff we were talking about, I just had this thought that maybe instead of doing like the way we had been talking about it, like picture like how can I picture like a kayak, right? And there's two kayaks. No, three kayaks. So I'm on one, and then like this homeless dude is on another one, and then you're on another one. Like you're directing from the kayak, right? You're shooting from the kayak. So I jump into the one with the homeless guy, and then from there, me and him give each other a 5, and then I jump out of that onto the other kayak. And when I get there, there's like a picnic basket there, right? So I open up the picnic basket, and inside of it is like this like magical gummy worm. And when I eat the magical gummy worm, you know, I transform into like a pterodactyl kind of thing, right? And then I fly up into like I basically fly onto a cloud. And when I get to that cloud, I start hunting. I'm hunting for my prey down below, and it turns out that you turn into a fish. And then I end up eating you, and then that's the end.
Where's Melissa playing this?
Nah, man, I'm just fucking with you, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know.
Right. I know that you knew. No, man, you're on my podcast right now. You're on the call.
For real?
Yeah, you're on the call someone and fuck with them section of my podcast, which usually kind of turns into like an interview piece.
Gotcha. Oh, sorry that my responses weren't as entertaining as they could have been.
No, I thought they were great. I thought they were great. So yo, like, so for people out there that they don't, that maybe they want to get into making videos or directing videos or anything in the movie industry or music video industry, do you have any advice for people out there that want to do stuff like that?
Well, one, it's like 12:30, dude, in the morning. Like, is that okay to do a podcast and now?
Oh shit, man! I think that maybe the speakerphone's not really coming out too clearly. Can you say that again?
I forgot what I said already. It's late.
Oh, my bad, man.
I said you cannot pick a better time to do a podcast.
Well, I got to get it done by Wednesday, man. I got deadlines. If I don't get it done, nothing really. I don't really have any fucking circumstances. Nothing happens to me. Cool, but
That's true.
not circumstance. What's not circumstances? What does it happen? What happens when you don't get something? What? What?
What?
I just said the wrong word. I was saying like if I don't get it done, I don't have any blah blah blah. I said circumstances, but that's not the right word.
You're looking for
like repercussions, but fuck.
Yeah, repercussion works.
Okay.
There's a simpler word for it.
Yeah. Fucking. What? There's going to be consequences.
Consequences.
I said circumstances.
Responsibility.
I don't really have any circumcisions if nothing happens, so.
Yeah, that's true. That works too.
So what are you working on?
Right now, just finished meeting with you actually about the toothbrush video, and I think the whole kayak jumping is a good idea.
So what for the listeners that might be familiar with some of my stuff, what are some of the other videos you worked on with me?
I guess starting with the first one, I think then we did Relax, and then we did Spencer Girl, and I don't know if Crazy X was before or after the Spencer Girl, but that's in there somewhere. And then Too Loud, and then Rosanna, and now we're gonna do Toothbrush.
Nice. Toothbrush. That's the name of the next song. The next video we're doing. So So what kind of knowledge can you drop on the people? I wish I had more cool questions to ask you, but like how did you know? Like when did you know that you wanted to do this for a living? When did you know that you wanted to direct?
I think it started all. I mean, I don't know. I've always been in the arts, and it kind of like started with drawing and stuff, and then I wanted to be a graphic designer at one point in high school, and then that like did photography, and then from one point. But from one thing to the next, it kind of led to video. Cause I thought photos were boring, video was funner. And then from there, I was hooked on the whole medium of video. And then found myself in film school. And then decided I wanted to do music videos, and I wanted to do movies, and I wanted anything that falls under that whole filming stuff. And it's fun, I think I don't have a 9 to 5. It's it's just the creative platform. It's it's always different. It's never repetitive, and I think it's a good way to make a living. Not an easy way to make a living, but it's a fun way to make a living. And I think that's all that matters.
So when you moved, because a lot of people hit me up and they ask about like moving to LA and trying to make it, and some people think it's going to happen instantly. You did have to have at least 1 or 2 9 to 5s when you moved here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What was the one place you worked at?
I worked at a place editing infomercials and stuff, and like my corporate videos. Like I don't know, that was like as 9 to 5 as. I mean, it wasn't a 9 to 5. It was more like a 6 to 2, a 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift, and you just clock in and clock out after your 8 hours, and then that's it. I rarely even saw my boss. It was just kind of like you do the work, and then you leave all the work on a hard drive, and he'll check it in the morning, and then he'll leave you notes, and by the time I get in there, it's already done. And then you just read the notes, and then you just kind of just pick up where you left off the previous day. Definitely, that was boring. That was like 9 to 5, and the same thing every day, just a corporate video or some sort of infomercial.
I guess the difference here is like even a lot of 9 to 5 stuff still involves like film or entertainment industry shit.
Yeah, I mean there's 9 to 5 within entertainment. I mean I think every job requires that kind of or every career, what do you call it? Every industry has its own 9 to 5 category of jobs for that industry.
Right. Yo, Casey, I'd like to ask you more questions, but I think that the audio I gotta fucking think of a better way to do this than to hold my speakerphone up to the microphone, because I think it's kind of like it's not. I think the audio might not be coming out too good. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Unfortunately.
Well, we could reconvene on this thing too.
Like I didn't like what you just said. I didn't understand.
Oh, for real? Is my connection bad? 2 bars.
No, it's not. I don't know that it's. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think it's just that you can't talk, man. I think it's your voice. I think your voice is naturally distorted and high pitched and sounds like a phone.
Gotcha. I think the mumbling kind of helped that. Mumble a lot when I talk.
Oh, you do mumble a little bit, but I think in this case, I don't think in this case that's what's doing it. I think it's my fucking lack of attention to detail. I think I need to fucking be better at creating this podcast for the people to listen to it. It's my fault. I should probably just jump off my roof.
Yeah, what's your problem?
Well, shit, Casey. I'm gonna call you again and do a better interview with you once I get a better system in place for this audio shit, man.
Okay, yeah, do it whenever. I'm cool.
All right, I know you're cool, man. You're very cool.
I know.
All right, Casey. Get back to whatever you're doing, man.
All right,
peace. Let's move on to some questions that people ask me via email. beatsforwax@gmail.com. beatsforwax@gmail.com. I answered like 2 of them on that one I said I did last night. I'm going to just edit those in here, and then I'm going to do the rest. All right, cool. Let's just go to some letters here, because I did get some good ones. I actually got a lot of good ones. Let me just kind of run through. This is from Zach. Okay, so I love you and EOM's Liquid Courage album, but every time I hear Concerto del Muerto, I wonder who the last MC is. Bobby Bloodbath. That is me. That's a character. That's a character that I do. I only did it on that one song, and I always thought that I was going to make this fucking whole YouTube channel for this dude, Bobby Bloodbath. And he's going to be wearing like a New York fitted cap, and you couldn't really see his face. Maybe have like a big fake beard and make him kind of like a fat dude, just like his character on that song. If you haven't heard that song, go buy my shit. If you haven't heard that song, go to iTunes and buy Liquid Courage by Wax and EOM. Let's see. Christopher. Sup, Wax? Big fan of yours. Just wanted to ask you if you had any mentors when coming up in the music game. Thanks. Just people around my neighborhood that you wouldn't have heard of. You know, like, I actually had a guitar. I took guitar lessons when I was in middle school, and I took guitar lessons from this older guy. He was a blues guy. His name was Jim Wood. He lived in, I'm not going to say where he lived, but he was a character, man. He had like these short, fat fingers. I remember he had like real short but wide fingers when he played guitar, and he taught me a lot of stuff. Like he taught me all blues stuff. And he's a Vietnam vet, and his wife was actually Vietnamese, and they had, that's where they met. They met at war, but she moved back to the States with him. So I remember she was always cooking really good smelling food, and she was just kind of stuck to herself, kind of quiet, but like they were cool people. So I guess that's the only mentor I can think of was the guitar teacher I had in middle school. And also, and actually somebody sent me an email about this band, but there was a band called the Two Skinny Jays. And not only do they make cool music, I mean, it's not for everybody, but my old band McGregor toured with those guys a couple times, and they were definitely mentors. They were like older than us, and the shows they put on were just so crazy, man. Like the way they did live shows were just insane. And that was, that was one of the biggest learning experiences for me. And I don't know, I would definitely say that they're my mentors. Yeah, Two Skinny Jays. God, I'm really slow today. I blame that on my sickness. I blame that on the lateness. Blame that on everything but myself. I'm not going to blame myself. I'm just going to pass blame on to others. Yeah, so that's where I ended off last night. I'm sorry about the kind of disorganized nature of this particular podcast, but I'm kind of getting ready for this trip. I haven't had much happen to me this week, and like I think I said before, just now, I like to blame everything on others and not the fucking shortcomings that I just naturally have. But you know what I forgot to do? I wanted to do every week, because I know that she's going to hit me up every week about this, because I know how my mom is. But she sent me yet another a feedback email from last week's podcast, and she said a lot of stuff, but I thought the interesting thing she said was, but what is a DAP? Please explain this one next time. I confess I do get a kick out of your giving advice to the lovelorn, though. It's not like you've been very successful in that area. Ha ha. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for reminding me of all the relationships that I've never had work out. But what I thought was awesome is, my mom's learning a lot of she's learning some slang on this one, especially when EOM was on, and because he's black, But what is a DAP? So instead of explaining to my mom what a DAP was, I went on YouTube and tried to look for a video of people dapping each other up. And there was a few, but none were, like, there were all these people doing these complicated ones, trying to make some kind of fucking viral video, like, look at our crazy handshake. But the best example of a dap I could find was, randomly enough, Barack and Michelle Obama giving each other like a fist bump on a political stage or whatever. So I sent that to her. And I don't have like a lot of political opinions and shit, but is that not kind of a sign that dude's just a fucking hip guy? Like, my mom asked me about a slang word and I have to send her something Barack Obama does. But anyway, so that was I need to think of a, let's call it feedback from Arlene. I shouldn't put my mom's name out there, but it doesn't matter. I guess it does matter. I don't know. Let's read some more. Let's read some more of these letters I got from some of you guys here. I got a bunch of them, and I think some of them are just interesting. And I think that we can just kind of go through some of these joints here. This is a quick one. Basically, yeah, hey Wax, I'm a big fan of your music, podcasts, and vlogs, and I really appreciate that. Everybody that sends me all these props, man, I love that. I mean, it's just crazy to think that people be listening to my dumbass like that. I've been listening to you for two years now. Anyways, I was just wondering if you're thinking of doing some shows in Australia anytime in the next few years or so. Thanks for taking the time to read this. Interestingly enough, I just did a deal in Australia. That Rosanna video we did, man, like, I've gotten a lot of strange international like, that song actually might do a lot for me internationally, a lot more than it does here in the United States. But I just did this deal in Australia, so literally yesterday it sent them all the stuff they need. So start looking out for Rosanna on your whatever. I don't know much. I've never been to Australia, but whatever the radio stations are there, whatever TV stations, MTV Australia, I guess. Start looking out for it there, because I think that's going to be happening pretty soon. So if that pops off, I imagine I'll be doing some shows in Australia. Plus my homegirl, I don't know if you've heard of this Brody who sent me the letter. Thanks for sending me the letter, by the way. But my homegirl Jess Hudak is kind of blowing up over there. She just had a gold single over there. I can't remember the name of it. Fuck, it was used on the Australian X Factor. It was like the theme song. But I'm doing a song with her on my album that hopefully we can go over there and perform. We'll see what happens. But thanks, Brody. I appreciate that. Let's see what this is. This is a really long email, but fuck it. Let's do it. So basically, I've got a lot of respect for you and your music. This is from Max over in Germany, Max H. With people like you around, it gives me hope for the future of music, considering most of the bullshit on the radio that makes me want to rip out my eardrums. Also, last year when I was having some of the best times of my life, there was nothing like listening to your albums and chilling with my friends drunk as hell. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry to everybody out there if it just sounds like I'm an arrogant prick reading fucking praise of myself. It's not like people just say stuff like that, and I really appreciate it. But my question for you is, although it's something I'm more generally wondering, basically I'm 19 and I live in Germany. I enjoy making music. I mean, I write rap lyrics and have dabbled in making songs previously. But the thing I do wonder is, how do you make that step from just making music to actually deciding you want to base your life around it? In other words, you have to take that step and risk to put your life and well-being on the line to just do music. It seems like it wouldn't be very stable, and my parents would definitely be disappointed. You're probably right about that. Would you say just do it and see what happens, or should I try and get more developed and build contacts before I try to make this step? I feel like I should have a successful, quote-unquote, boring job, but I don't feel that deep in me. What is your opinion? This is my opinion, Max. Thanks for the letter. I appreciate the props, man. It's not like you can't make that decision that early on, man. Like, if you got to have stuff going on in the music world before you can make the decision to kind of just say fuck it, and not have a job and just trust yourself that you'll make enough money to pay your rent on your music. And it's not like you go from like, it's not like you just be like, I'm gonna do this and then it just happens. Like, you're gonna have to work those jobs and do your music for a long time, and then it's like a gradual switch. Let's say you're making, just to make the numbers easy, let's say you're making $1,000 a month on your regular job, and you're making $100 a month on music. Over time, that music money, if you're successful, that music money goes up and up and up and up and up. And eventually it gets to the point where you're like, wait a second. If I took away now my time is actually more valuable than my regular job. The time I spend at that job, I'd be better off, doing it to make music. Then I could actually make even more than I would make at the regular job. So, long story short, man, it's not something you just decide like that. Like, you can't be like, I want to. It's not really about what you want, man. Like they always say, you gotta. Fuck. Of course, I forget. I forget what they always say. No, you do what you gotta do until you can do what you want to do. That's what they always say, and I think that's true as shit. I've had mad jobs. Don't think that this shit fell into my lap, man. I'm not 19. At 19 I was working. You're gonna have to get them jobs, man. I don't know if you're gonna go to college or what, but that could be a good idea too. But that's my advice for you, Max. Take it or leave it. Fucking throw a fucking dart at my face. Have your dog shit into your hand. Put a poster of my face on your wall, and then throw that fucking pile of dog diarrhea at my face if you don't agree with me. I mean, that's how I feel. All right, this one's from Marcus. Yo, Big Wax, it's Marcus. Thanks for the shout out, even though you didn't get to read my question last week. Sorry, and thanks, Marcus. My question for you this week is, I'm confused as to what to do with this coworker of mine. I'm 22, she's 17. Ooh. She invited me to a party and I went and we were all touchy-feely, maybe a little kiss if I can remember. She's cool as fuck and a good looker to boot. I love that expression, to boot. Makes me think of Canadians. I don't know, because that, you know, the fucking stereotype, South Park. My favorite thing that Canadians say, and I love Canadians, people are going to fucking mistake this for making fun of them, but I don't think they will. If you ever watch, like, King of the Dot or anything, the dudes always say, shoot out. Like, when they say, like, shout out to blah, 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 it's always like, shout out. I can't fucking do it. I remember staying in Toronto when I had a show there one time, and me and my brother and my boy Matt, who was doing our merch, this was during the Wax and Herbal Tea low budget mystery tour. We did a show in Toronto, and we stayed at this dude's house, and he was like, "Don't worry, I got 3 cooches." We were all like, "What? What do you mean 3 cooches?" But yeah, I love Canada, man. I wish I could fucking go there. But she's a good looker to boot. What should I do, man? Just party with her? I legitimately like this girl. I'd like to take her out on a date, but I'm not sure if it's the correct thing to do. Thanks for the props that you give me after that, Marcus. I appreciate it. Now, if you're 22 and she's 17, you want to take her out on a date, my first bit of advice would probably shouldn't be on a Monday through Thursday night, because that's a school night for her, and she might have to get home early, because, you know, sometimes high school is, you know, you might have to wake up really early to catch the bus that she has to catch to school, you know. So, you know, 22 and 17, that's 5 years is not that big of a difference. But, you know, if you were like 2 people in their 30s, if it was like 37 and 32, it would mean much less. Especially because in most states, 18 is the legal age, you know, so I think there's some states that's still 17 or 16. I think in West Virginia it's actually 9. He's like, no, but I don't know, man. I don't know how to give you advice on that, dude. Maybe wait till she's 18. Be careful, especially if she got crazy parents. I've heard you don't want to get sued for statutory rape. I mean, I've had friends that do. I mean, I guess 22 and 17 is not. I'm not going to give you advice on this, man. I shouldn't. I don't want you to. I'll give you. This is my advice. Don't base this situation whatsoever on anything that I would say. That's my advice. Thanks, Marcus. Okay, I already answered that one. Oh, you motherfucker, please don't freeze. Please don't freeze. Oh, shit. Hold up. My internet's giving me the beach ball. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. All right, this one's from Farrell. I don't know. It's probably Farrell. I'm 19 and I've been rapping for about a year and a half. My problem is sometimes I tend to sound like the rappers that inspire me. My biggest inspirations are Souls of Mischief, Slim Shady. Damn, interesting that you're 19 and you're inspired by Souls of Mischief. Good for you, Slim Shady and Wax. I appreciate that, man. That's what's up. Basically, I mean, it's a pretty long email, but basically he's saying, like, what do you think is about, like, he's talking about, basically, the question he says at the end, any tips for not sounding like your greatest influences? And, you know, everybody's going to do that, man. People that inspire you and influence you, you're going to tend to, like, you know, that's what inspiration and influence is. You know, you kind of have to learn, you have to learn to rap along to somebody before you can learn to rap yourself, you know, if that makes sense. You know, when I remember when I first started listening to Talib Kweli, I would rap just like him. You know, there's nothing you can really, I think maybe it's just something where you don't do anything consciously. You just keep going and, you know, listen to more people. And then, like, maybe eventually what happens, I don't know if this is fucking true or not. Maybe eventually what happens is, like, you take the 20 people that you really love, and then somehow those 20 people, if you put them in a fucking, You know those things you put a bunch of Play-Doh in of different colors, and then they all come out, and it's just this swirl. Maybe that's your style. Maybe a person's style is just a mixture of all their influences together that forms one new thing. So I would say don't trip about it too much, man. Definitely got to be careful. I mean, you hear a lot of young people put out stuff, and it's like, especially I feel like on YouTube, especially Eminem, like people just sound exactly like Eminem. I mean, people say I sound like Eminem, but I mean, I've heard people that sound like to the T. So you definitely want to be careful about that shit, man. But just keep going and have fun with it. You'll develop your own style. Just don't think about it. It'll come to you. It took me a while, you know. Just answered that one already. I definitely wanted to read this one. This dude's gonna think I'm fucking dissing him, but you know what? He sent me the fucking shit, and he told me to read the shit on the podcast. So I'm gonna fucking read it on here. This is Zach from Canada. First of all, big ups. Really appreciate all the things you're doing. Music, podcast, video, bringing me some entertainment. Second of all, tell that virgin from last week's podcast to get at me. All right, if virgin from last week's podcast, get it, Zach. If you guys want each other's email addresses, you know, I can't remember where the virgin was from, but Zach is from Canada. Doesn't look like it. It says where in Canada, I don't believe. But now my awkward request. I'm a bit of a weird traveler. I like to fly alone and see what kind of bullshit adventures I can have. I've done a few East Coast trips, and now I wouldn't mind checking out the West Coast. You mentioned you live near Venice Beach and very close to LAX. Basically, I don't want to live in a hotel for a week, and couch surfing would be way, many wise, more interesting. I was kind of hoping, since you can't come to Canada, you would let a Canadian bum your couch for a week, November 3rd through November 10th to be exact. I'd flip you some cash, clean my messes, and be respectable. I could do whatever during the day, help you out or chill on my own. Help me out. I just need an adventure, and I was hoping it'd be in Cali this year. Anyways, I'm 23, cool guy, and if you don't like me, you can boot me out or whatever. At least responding to this email would be dope as fuck. Even read this out on your podcast if you want. Now, Zach, I don't doubt that you're a good guy, and I actually appreciate the balls it takes to just kind of ask somebody you've never met before in your life to just stay at their house for a week. But, I mean, think about that from my end, man. Like, I don't know you, man. You know, I'm a busy guy. I do a lot of stuff. I don't know who you are, you know. I can't just have somebody I've never met before based on nothing, you know, just stay on my couch for a week, man. You know, if it was like, yo, can we meet up and get coffee? Even that would be weird to me. I had a dude show up at my house one time. I don't know if I told you guys that story, but when I first started selling T-shirts online, I don't use my actual return address anymore. I just use a return address of this random return address, whatever. That doesn't matter. But I used to use my own. And I was chilling at the crib one day, and somebody just knocked on my door, and they're like, they found my address from there, and they just fucking came the fuck over. And that happened, and I heard my boy Ray William Johnson, who's like big on YouTube and whatnot. Like I heard some weird stories from him. And basically, man, like it sounds fucking weird, maybe because I'm sure you're a good dude, Zach, and you have fucking all just good intentions, and you sound like the dude. You sound like kind of like a hippie type dude. You just want to fucking travel. And that's kind of a similar personality to how I have, but like, nah, man, you got to be careful about that kind of stuff. People you never met before and shit like that, just kind of coming over. And when somebody stays, even a homie from Maryland or something comes out for a week, I mean that takes up time, man. Like you kind of got to play the tour guide and stuff like that. But nah, sorry, Zach, you can't stay on my couch. Thanks for the props, though. I appreciate it, man. All right. This one is from Shannon. This is a weird one, actually. Hey, Wax. First off, I want to say I love your music, and I look forward to your podcast every week. I baked a Dutch apple pie this morning while listening to your podcast. Isn't a Dutch pie or something when... No, a Dutch oven? When, like, you're under the covers with your girlfriend and you fart and you put her head under there or something? But I baked a Dutch apple pie this morning while listening to your podcast, and it got me into a great mood. Well, I hope you enjoyed that Dutch apple pie, Shannon. I think I have a good discussion topic for your podcast. All caps, Coregasms. Coregasms. Have you ever heard of them? No, I had not heard of them until your email. I am one of the lucky ladies out there that benefits from the big O after working my abs a bit. I don't know if it's the intensity of the workout, the rubbing of the underwear against the clitoris. I should read this differently. I don't know if it's the intensity of the workout, the rubbing of the underwear against the clitoris, or both. But it's I wish I had a fucking girl to read this. It'd probably be a turn on to half you fucking perverts out there. But it's a great thing going on down there. Smiley face. I just thought I would bring this topic up after I heard your segment on masturbation. I actually rarely masturbate, and it's been quite a while since I've had sex. Sorry to hear about that, but it's no biggie because the Coregasm does me weekly wonders. I'm just an independent 27-year-old woman that enjoys her gym time. Keep up the good beats. Shannon from Wisconsin. Well, I appreciate the props, Shannon. And after I read this, I actually looked for a second to find out if this was like some kind of phenomenon, and it turns out it is. There's a lot of women out there that there's certain ways that you can work out your abs where I guess your fucking clitoris rubs against the underwear or against the floor, or sometimes I guess your inner thighs kind of hook yourself up, and you can actually have like an orgasm from working out. And it's like a phenomenon that actually was first reported about in the 1950s. A coregasm. But I thought the most interesting part of this thing that you said is, I'm just an independent 27-year-old woman that enjoys her gym time. So you're telling me that you put on your fucking workout clothes, go to the gym, and while you're in the gym doing your ab exercises, you're having an orgasm? Like, I want to understand that. I can understand if you're at your house and you know you're doing it there, but like you're fucking in the gym, and like, you know, if I'm in the gym and I'm fucking on whatever, on the fucking, I can't even think of something in the gym. If I'm over there doing fucking squats or whatever, and fucking, I look over and you're going, ugh. And that was a terrible orgasm sound. It sounded like a fucking dude doing curls or whatever at the gym. But just picture a girl in all workout clothes doing sit-ups and fucking just moaning like she's fucking getting fucked and fingered and whatever the fuck, anything. I don't know, that would distract me. But I don't know, I just didn't know if you did that in public or what. But good for you. Good for you. A lot of women have trouble with having orgasms. You don't even need no man. Man says, I'm just gonna go work out. I don't need you. That's kind of like the essence of the independent woman. You know, you even said that it's like been a while since I had sex, rarely masturbate. You don't even need to. You just go to the gym, have your coregasm, you know. But I mean, then again, you know, you baked a Dutch apple pie this morning for yourself. I bet you know you got to be careful. You're gonna become Steve Carell from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. You know, like you're baking Dutch apple pies. Next thing you know, you got a collection of fucking old Barbie dolls that you can't take out of the case because they're classics. Then you're going to develop too many habits. By the way, if you're eating Dutch apple pie, it's good to know that you're doing your gym time, because you know you're kind of getting those abs back there. I guess if I could have an orgasm because I work out, I'd probably be fucking ripped. All right. I like the super young, the young people that send me stuff. Okay. Hey Wax, my name is Chris. I'm 14 and a huge fan. I just moved to Ashburn, Virginia from Richmond before freshman year. I had lots of friends before, and now I have to start over and get a new group of friends. I don't really know where to start, what quote unquote social group of people I should hang out with. Please help me out if you can. Who did you hang out with in high school? Thanks so much, man. You have no idea how much this would mean. From Chris. First of all, I never had to experience what you're talking about. Like, I remember how in high school everything was weird, and like social shit was like all the foundation of like your life and being. So like going from middle school to high school, and then all of a sudden having to be a freshman in high school and you don't know a single person. I didn't have that experience. So I can imagine that would be tricky. And and you use social group in quotes because that's how it is in high school. Like, it's just a bunch of groups. There's cliques. You know, you got like the the football jocks. You got like the hot chicks. You got like, you know, maybe, I don't know what you got these days, but maybe you got like the emo kind of dudes or gothy kind of dudes and chicks. Then you got like the people that are in the marching band or our clique, you know. Then you got the cheerleaders. Maybe you got the fucking the skaters, you know. When I was in high school, I hung out. I think that I guess my social group would kind of have been like, I guess like this musician, skater, stoners, I guess would be my social group. And no, I don't recommend you hang out with that group. I think that you should. I think that you're just gonna have to naturally figure it out, man. I don't think that there's anything that I can tell you. Try to be friends with everybody, man. Just make friends with everybody. I think that that's the best way to go. High school can be fucking rough. I mean, even in high school, everybody's kind of a dick. Like, the only thing that people care about is, like, quote-unquote, being cool. And, you know, I remember being mean to people in high school, and I remember people being mean to me in high school. So just try to, you know, just try your best, man. You know, try to study or whatever, get some good grades, do good on your standardized tests. Make sure that you learn all those maths like trigonometry and calculus that you'll literally never, ever, possibly ever have to use in real life. But of course, who was it that, I don't know. Still try to get good grades. Make your parents happy. Come on, man. You're 14. They're so fucking nervous right now. Your parents are so nervous about you. They're thinking of all the bad stuff that can happen to you. But don't worry about social groups, man. Just go in there, walk around. Maybe start by trying to find like one person. Don't think of it as a group. Meet a friend, you know, make a friend. You know? I want to just preface or postface everything by just saying the best thing you can do is just not listen to my advice. What the fuck do I know? Yo, what up, Wax? This is from Matt. Love the podcast. Big ups. I appreciate that, Matt. Do you have any opinions? Oh shit. Do you have any opinions on the candidates for the upcoming election? And or do you even pay attention to politics and all that? Also, how do you feel about our country's current state? Any insight to that would be great. That was like a rap. Any insight on our country's current state? Wait, how do you feel about our country's current state? Any insight on that would be great. Mitt Romney did this, Obama did that. Oh, fucking Mitt Romney. All right, I'll do a little bit of political stuff. First, let me start by saying no, I don't really pay attention to politics. I actually just this week kind of paid attention a little bit because my boy sent me that thing that Mitt Romney said, and that shit pissed me off. But you know, this is what I think. If you want to be the president of the United States, you're a fucking maniac. You are an insane, fucking power-hungry, weirdo maniac. Why would you want that job? Think of how terrible that would be, how stressful that is. It just to want that job, just to want to hold that position of power takes the kind of personality that only a weirdo egomaniac would have. I don't give a fuck if it's Bush, Obama, Clinton, what the fuck's his name? Romney, I don't care who it is. You're a fucking weirdo psycho if you want to be the president. Let me start by saying that. Second of all, I think I used to pay attention. I was actually really interested in politics the last election because, as you know, Barack Obama was like exciting and he was the first black president, and it was just an interesting time. Now in this particular time, first of all, I think Mitt Romney is not that good of a candidate. I think he's just not as likable as even like George Bush was or Barack Obama is. I think he really, really, really seems like a politician. Like, he seems like every opinion he has is based on polls and what people tell him to think, rather than what he actually thinks inside of his heart. He seems like a career politician. And you know, his dad was the governor. Oh, I think it was in Michigan. His dad was the governor of Michigan. So I don't know. He seems like a cyborg to me. He seems like he seems like he could rip off his face, and there would be, you know, like a robot underneath. And I'm not saying Barack Obama couldn't be a cyborg either. I think that maybe they all are. Maybe they're all controlled by some type of fucking cyborg controlling gamer, you know, in the White House basement that just laughs. You know, maybe it's just Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. If you fucking remember that, Jesus, I don't even know if that was the right Dr. Claw. Was that from Inspector Gadget or was that from some other show? I don't know. I don't actually think the presidential candidates are cyborgs, by the way. But as far as the country's current state, you know, I'm in a position where, like, you know, I have my apartment and I fucking sit here and I try to write songs, and I do okay, and I don't worry too much. Like, you know, I'm not the richest dude in the world, but, you know, I'm so fucking far removed at this point that I don't even really know what the country's current state is. I know we got a lot of unemployed people, and that sucks. I think that unemployment, if you listen to like my first podcast, I talked about how I used a while ago I worked refinancing houses at the type of company that gave out these shitty loans and basically ripped people off, and lo and behold, right after that, the housing market crashed and people started getting foreclosed on their house left and right. And my point about saying that is that if the economy is bad, the people blame the president. The president takes the fucking blame and the credit for everything. Like, Obama takes the credit for killing bin Laden. Like, that motherfucker went in and said, "Break yourself, fool," and fucking pointed a fucking 9 at bin Laden's face like it himself. He takes the credit for that, but he also has to take the fucking blame for the economy when there's so many factors. Like, you know, I got a friend who was more of a conservative, and he honestly believes that if McCain would have won the last election, that everything would be totally different. And I think that that's very, very far from the truth. I think the president has much less of an effect on the economy than people believe that he does, you know? So, I don't know. I think that there's a lot. I think that there's a lot of shit weird about the I'm sick of people talking about. It's just like one side is like less government, and one side's like more government. Like, I feel like most people live in their lives, and you know, this, like I said, this could be because I'm so far removed and I just don't think about it that much. But I don't feel like most people in America feel like government is controlling them and reaching into their lives and invading it so much. I think it's, you mostly just do your thing, you go to work, you hang out with your family, and you know, you pay your taxes or whatever. I don't think people feel like this sense of intrusion that the Republicans try. The picture that the Republicans paint is this government that's like has all these arms and they're just reaching into your household and controlling your life. And I just don't feel like many people actually feel that, you know? I think the biggest problem is that, and granted, you know, I guess that, I'm sure a lot of you out there listening are more conservative than me, but I think the biggest problem, I think the most interesting thing about the Republican angle of it is that they've somehow convinced the poor people that are on their side that the problem is the poor people on the other side. You know, the problem is welfare, the problem is food stamps, the problem is all this shit that poor people get. When in reality, these big companies, you know, what, like, you know, I don't know the fucking numbers. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm fucking well versed on this shit, but like, you know, we bailed out the airline industry. We bailed out the fucking bankers who make all those companies, Bank of America, who are making all this money. We bailed them out with a check that probably equals all the food stamps check double or something. I shouldn't be talking numbers because y'all gonna say I'm ignorant and you're gonna fucking point out something that totally negates my argument. But my point is that the Republicans paint this picture that the problem is poor people, and then the rich people get all these government contracts and nobody says shit. So that's people probably gonna yell at me and say I'm a fucking idiot, but you know what? I am an idiot, and I really don't give a shit about Barack Obama or Mitt Romney anymore. I just live my life and try to write these songs and just fucking talk to myself out loud. I'm sorry, Brian from Stockton. I'm gonna skip that one. That's kind of one that I should probably just answer via email for you, bro. This one's from David. Sup, Wax? You got any interesting or funny groupie stories to tell? What are your favorite cities to perform in and why? Can't wait for your new album and for you to come back to Philly. Thanks for the props, man. I don't know why I answered this one because I definitely didn't think about it. I don't really have any funny groupie stories to tell, and if I have groupie stories, I don't really want to tell them. My favorite cities to perform in. That's a really difficult one, man, because I've done, a lot of shows. I've done shows in Toronto, and then I've done shows throughout the United States. And you're in Philly. That's definitely one of my favorite places to perform. Of course, I love Los Angeles. I love Baltimore. I love. There's not really a place that I've performed in that I'd be like, oh, this sucks. My answer to that would be, I've never really had a place that sucked. So, in other words, I don't want to offend the one person listening that's from that particular city. But the best show I've ever had was definitely in Los Angeles. And then I've had some really good shows in New York and in Baltimore. That little balcony venue at the Trocadero in Philly is so fucking fun to play at because it's small, and when you get, that venue is so much fun because you can just like walk out into the crowd and just talk to people and shit. It's like a small, intimate place. But best show, my most fun show I've ever had was at the Troubadour in Los Angeles. So I guess that's my favorite city because that was the best show I've had. Troubadour, Los Angeles. Number 2, Webster Hall, New York City, and then dating back a little bit for my band was definitely we had some fun shows at Peabody's in Cleveland too, but the best one was at the 8x10 in Baltimore. I love that place. But boogadaboo, I'll start talking soft and mumbling. This motherfucker here, Marion, subject line, boobies. Haha, got your attention. Wax, I'm getting the beach ball. My fucking internet's probably all about to shut. No, there you go. Wax, thank you for being yourself and for staying true to your talent. I love your music and you're real funny, man. Thank you, I appreciate that. I rap with you in my car on the way to work every day so that I don't stumble over words when I teach classes. Well, thank you for rapping to my stuff and thank you for teaching classes. You're a good human being, I hope. Unless you're there just to fucking look at little girls and fucking jerk off to them and take pictures with your iPhone so when you get home you can masturbate thinking about 13-year-old girls. Or maybe dudes. Maybe you're a horrible person. I don't know. But I'm going to assume the former. Anyway, my question is, have you or Herbs ever seen a ghost or experienced anything paranormal, or have you had any cool twin-related experiences you can't explain? Marion, thanks for that, Marion. I don't believe that I've ever seen a ghost. I don't believe that I've ever experienced anything paranormal. But yes, me and Chris is Herbs' name, my twin brother. For you guys, anybody that doesn't know, I have a twin brother. He goes by Herbal T, but his mama given name is Chris. So like a lot of times when me and him are together, like sometimes with you're with somebody and you're with maybe your friend and you say the same word at the same time. Like you're both like somebody says something and you're both like coffee at the same time and you look at each other like, oh my god, we all said coffee at the same time. Well, that happens to me and my brother, but it happens in like a fucking crazy way. Like we'll say like I don't know, maybe you should check it out at 5:00, huh? Like we'll say something like that, or like actually it's not really like that. It's more like an elephant, like a weird sentence that's like 10 seconds long. We'll say it at the exact same time, like as if we were double just trying to do that. And that's happened many, many times. And sometimes it's kind of like we look at each other with disbelief, like how is that even possible? But you know what? It's not. I don't think it's not like I can really like. Granted, we've never had a lot of really bad emergencies, But like, I don't think that I can like feel when he's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they say twins can kind of like feel, like, oh my god, Chris is in trouble. I don't think that I can feel that, man. I'm not sure if that's true or not because maybe he just never had anything too crazy as far as emergency going on with him to feel that, but I don't know. I did this is the truth, man. My mom and my sister would verify it. Me and him had, when we were like toddlers, we had a secret language. I think there's a video online with 2 twin babies. It was like a really fucking popular viral video, like 2 kids in diapers kind of talking in their own language. And according, me and my brother did that. So that's kind of interesting. Thanks, Marion. Maid Marion. Oh, that was the last one. that was the last question I had as far as, people calling in and shit. Let me see if I had anything else to say. Let me say shout out to Chris R. Shout out to Avid, Eric Garcia, Cordless, Yahira, Tim from Oregon, and Jared. I'm sorry to David, James, Teddy, Superdram67, Scott. I appreciate you guys' emails. I couldn't get to everybody. I got a lot of emails this week, and I fucking really appreciate it. If you want to send me an email, beatsforwax@gmail.com. You can send me beats. You can send me send me fucking naked pictures. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's gonna be you guys are gonna take that the wrong way and send me some fucking dick pics and shit like that. But happy birthday to Ben K, by the way. He's got his birthday coming up. I can't remember exactly what day it is, but happy birthday to you. I will talk to you next week on the podcast, where I will probably have a lot of interesting stories based on my trip to Maryland. I got a lot of people I'm going to be hanging out with over there that are pretty much dumb as me, and we'll probably get into some kind of trouble. So until then, be safe out there. Peace.